Hello and welcome to Verdictum. I am Ananya Singh and you're watching today's legal news, where we apprise you with the recent important legal developments across the country. Here are the headlines. Supreme Court resumes hearing of pleas challenging the abrogation of Article 370 for the 16th day today. Bihar Caste Survey challenged in Supreme Court for inclusion of transgenders under the caste list. Umar Khaild's bail plea adjourned for the fifth time by the Supreme Court. Allahabad High Court takes suo moto cognizance of violence against lawyers in Hapur, directs state government to include retired judge on SIT investigating the incident. Karnataka Farmers Group to approach Supreme Court against Cauvery Tribunal's order to release water to Tamil Nadu. Now let's take a detailed look on the headlines. A 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court, comprising the Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, along with Justice S.K. Kaul, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, Justice B.R. Gavai and Justice Surya Kant, continued hearing the batch of pleas challenging the abrogation of Article 370 for the 16th day today. The hearings that began on August 2nd have dealt with a variety of questions, such as whether Article 370 was envisaged as a permanent or a temporary provision, whether Article 370 is part of the basic structure of the Constitution, among other important questions. On the last date of hearing, before the commencement of the proceedings, the Apex Court dealt with an intervention application by a Kashmiri Pandit group that questioned the credentials of petitioner number 1 and the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference Party leader Akbar Lone. The application was filed as Lone, who was a member of the Legislative Assembly of J&K from 2002 to 2018, has allegedly shouted pro-Pakistan slogans in the assembly. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and Senior Advocate V. Giri urged the top court to seek an affidavit from Lone, who is represented by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibbal, owing allegiance to the Constitution of India. The Supreme Court then directed Lone to file an affidavit affirming his allegiance to the Indian Constitution and recognizing India's sovereignty. Additional Solicitor General K. M. Natraj, Additional Solicitor General Vikramjit Banerjee, Senior Advocate Mahesh Jethmalani, Senior Advocate Guru Krishna Kumar and Advocate Kanu Agarwal, among others, also appeared for the Union of India yesterday. ASG Natraj contended that the continued application of Article 370 discriminated between the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir and other citizens of India, which makes the application of Article 370 opposed to the basic structure of the Constitution. The ASG further highlighted that the power of the President underlined under Article 370 Clause 3 was unique and extraordinary, and such a power should not be read with any limitations and must be given the fullest meaning. Senior Advocate Mahesh Jethmalani appeared for the members of the Gujjar Bakirwal community, who were the interveners in the case. Mr. Jethmalani apprised the bench that the Gujjar Bakirwal community constitutes over 73% of the total scheduled tribe population of Jammu and Kashmir, and they support the Union government's decision to revoke Article 370, as previously the provisions of the Constitution of India pertaining to the scheduled tribes never applied to Jammu and Kashmir, and the benefits were never extended to the STs of J&K. Today, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibbal argued that the constitutional orders 272 and 273, responsible for the revocation of Article 370, should be struck down, as there had to be a recommendation by the Council of Ministers to the President and not the Parliament. Mr. Sibbal argued that no dissolution of Assembly can take place without the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, and thus the dissolution of J&K Assembly was void. He questioned the government's move to make Jammu and Kashmir a union territory and asked, how can they make a state into a UT? Under what provision of law? Under what power? Senior Advocate Gopal Subramaniam also appeared today and submitted that the Constitution of India itself recognizes the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir by virtue of Article 370. He highlighted that the 7th Constitutional Amendment Act inserted the words excluding the state of Jammu and Kashmir under Article 152. The said amendment got the assent on 19th October 1956. By then, the draft constitution of J&K was introduced on 10th October 1956. A plea has been filed in the Supreme Court challenging the Bihar government's decision to include the transgender identities in its caste-based survey. The petition has been filed by a transgender rights activist, Reshma Prasad, who objects to the government assigning a caste code to the transgender community while conducting the already contentious caste-based survey. The survey includes persons identifying as Hijra, Kinnar, Koti, and transgenders, that is the third gender, among the 214 named caste categories. The petition challenges the move, alleging it to be unconstitutional, arbitrary, and against the spirit of the Supreme Court's ruling in the 2014 Nalsa v. Union of India judgment, which recognized the right of gender self-identification by transgenders as a fundamental right. The petitioner has prayed to the apex court to obliterate the community from the survey, after the request was previously rejected by the Patna High Court. The Patna High Court refused to interfere in the process, however, called the inclusion of the transgender identities in the survey as erroneous and asked the petitioners to submit a representation before the state government. The apex court is also hearing batch of petitions that challenge the constitutionality of the survey. A bench of Justice Bela Trivedi and Justice Dipankar Datta of the Supreme Court adjourned the bail plea of Umar Khaild until next week in the 2020 Delhi riots conspiracy case. This is the fifth time his plea is adjourned by the bench since May. Khaild was arrested in September 2020 and booked under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act for his involvement in the conspiracy that led to the communal riots that broke out in the northeast Delhi region in February 2020. Today, the apex court was hearing the special leave petition moved by Khaild, challenging the decision of the Delhi High Court that rejected his bail plea. Khaild's bail plea today was rejected as senior advocate Kapil Sibbal, who is representing Khaild, was not available owing to his appearance before the Constitution Bench hearing dealing with the abrogation of Article 370. Justice Trivedi expressed displeasure over the adjournment and said that Mr. Sibbal is known to be busy. We do not wait for any particular senior counsel. The bench granted the adjournment until next week, but told the proxy counsel that it was the last opportunity and no such request will be entertained on the next date of hearing. The Allahabad High Court today took suo moto cognizance of the incident of lathi charge by police on advocates in Hapur district of Uttar Pradesh. The incident that took place on August 29 led to strong condemnation by the Supreme Court Bar Association, and the UP Bar Council yesterday resolved to demonstrate protest by boycotting work for 3 days. A bench of Chief Justice Pritinkar Devakar and Justice Mahesh Chandra Tripathi directed the state government to include a retired judge on the SIT that is investigating the incident. The name of retired principal judge of family court in Lucknow, Mr. Harinath Pandey, was recommended by the High Court, and the bench further directed the SIT to submit its report in a sealed cover at the earliest possible, and an interim report to be submitted on the next date of hearing. The High Court also directed the Superintendent of Police to register and probe the FIRs filed by lawyers in the incident of alleged police brutality. The High Court frowned upon the strike being conducted by the Bar Council and urged the bar associations to resume work to prevent any unpleasant steps being taken by the High Court. However, despite the request, the Allahabad High Court Bar Association decided to abstain from judicial work today. A farmers group from Karnataka is set to file a counter petition in the Supreme Court today, challenging the order of the Cauvery Water Management Tribunal to release water to Tamil Nadu. The farmers have earlier staged an all-night protest in Karnataka's Mandya district, opposing an interim order on the release of water to Tamil Nadu, which was passed on August 28th. The order directed the Karnataka government to release 5,000 cusecs of water into Tamil Nadu every day for 15 days till September 12. Darshan Putaneya, an independent MLA who is backed by the ruling party Congress, reached New Delhi for the filing of the petition. The petition seeks to bring to the top court's notice the degrading water level of reservoirs, non-availability of water to crops of farmers, and the lack of drinking water in Karnataka. That was all on today's legal news. Thank you and keep watching Verdictum, and subscribe to our channel and download the Verdictum app on iOS and Android to keep yourself updated with authentic legal news.